May our Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit be with us. I'm getting a crank in my neck. And Yehושע went to the Mount of Olives, and at dawn he came again into the set-apart place, and all the people were coming to him. And having sat down, he was teaching them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought to him a woman caught in adultery, and having set her in the midst, they said to him, Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery, and in the Torah Moshe commanded us that such should be stoned. What then do you say? And this they said, trying him so that they might accuse him. But Yehושע, bending down, wrote on the ground with the finger as though he did not hear. But as they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, He who is without sin among you, let him be the first to throw a stone at her. And bending down again, he wrote on the ground. And when they heard it, being reproved by their conscience, went out one by one, beginning from the older ones until the last. And Yehושע was left alone, and the woman standing in the middle. And Yehושע was straightening up, and seeing no one but the woman, said to her, Woman, where are those accusers of yours? Did not one condemn you? And she said, No one, Master. And Yehושע said to her, Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. Therefore, and you see how he handled that was perfect, bro. It's not like he didn't condone her sin, bro. He just schooled them, bro, like in a whole different type of way, bro. Then he just told her, go and sin no more, brothers and sisters. This guy is too thorough. Therefore, Yehושע spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall by no means walk in darkness, but possess the light of life. The Pharisees therefore said to him, You bear witness about yourself. Your witness is not true. Yehושע answered and said to them, Even if I witness concerning myself, my witness is true. Facts. Amen. For I know where I came from and where I am going, but you do not know from where I come or where I go. You judge according to the flesh. I judge no one. But even if I do judge, my judgment is true, because I am not alone in it, but I and the Father who sent me. And in your Torah also it has been written that the witness of two men is true. Facts. And I just read that in Deuteronomy as well. Amen. And in your Torah also it has been written that the witness of two men is true. I am one who witnesses concerning myself, and the Father who sent me witnesses. I am one who witnesses concerning myself, and the Father who sent me witnesses concerning me. Amen. Therefore they said to him, Where is your Father? Yehושע answered, You know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would have known my Father also. These words Yehושע spoke in the treasury, teaching in the set-apart place, and no one laid hands on him, because his hour had not come. Therefore Yehושע said to them, Again I am going away, and you shall seek me, and you shall die in your sin. Where I go, you are unable to come. Then the Yehudim said, Shall he kill himself? Because he says, Where I go, you are unable to come. And he said to them, You are from below, I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world. Facts. Therefore I said to you that you shall. Therefore I said to you that you shall die in your sin. That you shall die in your sins. For if you do not believe that I am He, you shall die in your sins. Then they said to him, Who are you? And Yehושע said to them, Altogether that which I even. Then they said to him, Oh, who are you? And Yehושע said to them, Altogether that which I even say to you, I have much to say and to judge concerning you. But he who sent me is true, and what I heard from him, these words I speak to the world. They did not know that he spoke to them of the Father. So Yehושע said to them, When you lift up the Son of Adam, then you shall know that I am he, and that I do none at all of myself, but as my Father taught me, these words I speak. And he who sent me is with me. The Father has not left me alone, for I always do what pleases him. As he was speaking these words, many believed in him. So Yehושע said to those Yehudim who believed him, If you stay in my word, you are truly my taught ones, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, We are the seed of Abraham, and have been servants to no one at any time. How do you say you shall become free? Yehושע answered them, Truly, truly, I say to you, everyone doing sin is a servant of sin. And the servant does not stay in the house forever, a son stays forever. If then the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed. I know that you are the seed of Abraham, but you seek to kill me, because my word has no place in you. I speak what I have seen with my Father. I speak what I have seen with my Father, and you do what you have heard from your father. They answered and said to him, Abraham is our father. Yeshua said to them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. But now you seek to kill me, a man who has spoken to you the truth which I heard from Elohim. Abraham did not do this. You do the works of your father. Then they said to him, we were not born of whoring. We have one father, Elohim. Yeshua said to them, if Elohim were your father, you would love me. For I came forth from Elohim, and am here. For I have not come of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not know what I say? Because you are unable to hear my word. You are of your father the devil, and the desires of your father you hope to do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and has not stood in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks to lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I speak the truth, you do not believe me. Who of you proves me wrong concerning sin? And if I speak the truth, why do you not believe me? He who is of Elohim hears the words of Elohim. Therefore you do not hear because you are not of Elohim. The Yehudim answered and said to him, Do we not say well that you are a Shemarani and have a demon? Yeshua answered, I do not have a demon, but I value my Father, and you do not value me. And I do not seek my own esteem. There is one who is seeking and is judging. Truly, truly, I say to you, if anyone guards my word, he shall never see death. If anyone guards my word, he shall never see death at all. The Yehudim said to him, Now we know that you have a demon. Abraham died and the prophets, and you say, if anyone guards my word, he shall never taste death at all. Are you greater than our father? Are you greater than our father Abraham, who died and the prophets died? Whom do you make yourself? Yeshua answered, if I esteem myself, my esteem is none at all. It is my Father who esteems me, of whom you say that he is your Elohim, and you have not known him, but I know him. And if I say I do not know him, I shall be like you, a liar, but I do know him, and I guard his word. Your father Abraham was glad that he should see my day, and he saw it and did rejoice. The Yehudim therefore said to him, You are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham? Yeshua said to them, Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham came to be, I am. Amen. Therefore they picked up stones to throw at him, but Yeshua was hidden and went out of the set apart place, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. Wow. Amen. They wanted to throw stones at him. That was mad. And passing by, he saw a man. Well, Satan was mad because he knows. And passing by, he saw a man blind from birth, and his taught ones asked him, saying, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he should be born blind? Yeshua answered, Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of Elohim might be made manifest in him. It is necessary for me to work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one is able to work. While I am in the world. And if you notice that he said when night is coming when no one is able to work. Now they got overnight shifts, Satan got people working all night now. If you see, a lot of people don't even start their days until nighttime, they be out all night, they don't even sleep. It's like, it's just backwards, this stuff is backwards, get your rest. You gotta heal your body, you feel me? While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Having said this, he spat on the ground and made clay with his saliva and applied the clay to the eyes of the blind man. And he said to him, Go, wash in the pool of Shiloah, which means sent. So he went and washed and came seeing. Therefore the neighbors and those who saw him before that he was blind said, Is not this he who was sitting and begging? Others said, This is he. Others said, He is like him. He said, I am. So they said to him, How were your eyes open? He answered and said, A man called Yehusha made clay and applied it to my eyes, and said to me, Go to the pool of Shiloah and wash. And I went and washed, and I received sight. And they said to him, Where is he? He said, I do not know. They brought to the Pharisees the one who was once blind. Now it was a Sabbath when Yeshua made the clay and opened his eyes. Therefore the Pharisees also asked him again how he had received his sight. He said to them, He put clay on my eyes, and I wash, and I see. Therefore some of the Pharisees said, This man is not from Elohim, because he does not guard the Sabbath. Others said, How is a man who is a sinner able to do such miracles? And there was a division among them. So they said to the blind one again, What do you say about him? What do you say about him because he opened your eyes? And he said, He is a prophet. However, the Yehudim did not believe concerning him that he had been blind and received his sight, till they called the parents of him who had received his sight. And they asked them, saying, Is this your son, who you say was born blind? How then does he now see?" His parents answered them and said, "We know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. But how he now sees, we do not know, or who opened his eyes, we do not know. He is of age. Ask him; he shall speak concerning himself." His parents said this because they were afraid of the Yehudim, for the Yehudim had already agreed that if anyone confessed that he was Messiah, he should be put out of the congregation. Because of this, his parents said, "He is of age, ask him." So for the second time they called the man who was blind and said to him, "Give esteem to Elohim. We know that this man is a sinner." Then he answered and said, "Whether he is a sinner, I do not know. I only know that I was blind, now I see." And they asked him once more, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" He answered them, "I have told you already, and you did not hear it. And you did not hear. But why do you hope to hear it again? Do you hope to become his taught ones too?" Facts, humble yourselves. Then they abused him and said, "You are his taught one, but we are taught ones of Moshe. We know that Elohim has spoken to Moshe, but this one we do not know where he is from." These guys are cowards. The man answered and said to them, Why this is a wonder. You do not know where he is from, yet he opened my eyes, and we know that Elohim does not hear sinners, but if anyone fears Elohim and does his desire, he hears him, for sure. From of old it has never been heard that anyone opened the eyes of one who was born blind. If the one were not from Elohim, he could not have done none at all, for sure. They answered and said to him, "You were completely born in sins, and are you teaching us?" And they cast him out. They see, this is their error. They not even listening to nobody. Like, they humble yourself. Listen, open your ears up, perk your ears up. These guys think they know it all. These guys talking about and are you teaching us? You can learn from an ant. What do you mean, are you teaching us? Like what? It said they answered and said to him, "You were completely born in sins." Like they weren't born in sins, and are you teaching us? And they cast him out. These guys are corny. Yehusha heard that they had cast him out, and when he had, and then listen to our brother, the complete opposite, the Messiah, mega super true. These guys are mega super false. It's like these false guys today. That's why anybody true, brothers and sisters, man, look, these people are gonna, the sky looks beautiful. Oh my goodness. The trees is blocking like the full sunset, but I love coming out here before the sun sets, brothers and sisters, and then seeing it just come out and the light comes. It's just a beautiful thing. But yeah, brothers and sisters, this stuff, understand that these people are going to say whatever about us. They're going to literally treat us like whatever. Even the people that watch this video, I know a lot of people are looking at this like, look at this guy just reading the Bible. Stop posting the Bible. Like, stop reading the Bible. It's just saying, it's like, it's just ridiculous, brothers and sisters. And then there's lukewarm believers who see this and they're just like, they may like it, they may go past it, they may whatever. They're not going to share it even though they sit on Facebook all day. I don't know. That stuff is astonishing. Yehusha heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, he said to him, "Do you believe in the Son of Elohim?" He answered and said, "Who is he?" "Master, that I might believe in him." And Yehusha said to him, "You have both sent him, and he who speaks with you is he." And he said, "Master, I believe," and bowed before him. And Yehusha said, "For judgment I have come into this world, that those not seeing might see, and those seeing might become blind." And those of the Pharisees who were with him heard these words and said to him, "Are we blind too?" Yehusha said to them, "If you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say, 'We see,' therefore your sin remains." Facts. I mean, truly, truly, I say to you, he who does not enter through the door into the sheepfold, but climbs up by another way, that one is a thief and a robber. But he who enters through the door is the shepherd of the sheep. The doorkeeper opens for him, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And when he has brought out his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, because they know his voice. And they shall by no means follow a stranger, but shall flee from him, because they do not know the voice of strangers. Yeshua used this figure of speech, but they did not know what he had been saying to them. Yeshua therefore said to them again, "Truly, truly, I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. Whoever enters through me, he shall be saved, and shall go in, and shall go out, and find pasture. The thief does not come except to steal, and to slaughter, and to destroy. I have come that they might possess life, and that they might possess it beyond measure. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep, but the hireling and not being a shepherd, one who does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming, and leaves the sheep and flees, and the wolf snatches the sheep and scatters them. Now the hireling flees because he is a hireling and is not concerned about the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know mine, and mine know me, even as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold. I have to bring them as well, and they shall hear my voice. And there shall be one flock, one shepherd. Because of this the Father loves me, because I lay down my life in order to receive it again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have authority to lay it down, and I have authority to receive it again. This command I have received from my Father. Again there came a division among the Yehudim because of these words. And many of them said, He has a demon and is mad. Why do you listen to him? Others said, These are not the words of one possessed by a demon. Is a demon able to open the eyes of the blind? At that time the Hanukkah came to be in Jerusalem, and it was winter, and Yehושע was walking in the set-apart place in the porch of Shalomo. So the Yehudim surrounded him and said to him, How long do you keep us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, say to us plainly. Yehושע answered them, I have told you, and you do not believe. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness concerning me, but you do not believe, because you are not of my sheep. As I said to you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, and I give them everlasting life, and they shall by no means ever perish, and no one shall snatch them out of my hand. My Father who has given them to me is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. Again the Yehudim picked up stones to stone him. Yehושע answered them, Many good works I have shown you from my Father. Because of which of these works do you stone me? The Yehudim answered him, saying, We do not stone you for a good work, but for blasphemy, and because you, being a man, make yourself Elohim. Yehושע answered them, Is it not written in your own Torah? I said, You are Elohim. If he called them Elohim, to whom the word of Elohim came, and it is impossible for the scripture to be broken, do you say of him whom the Father set apart and sent into the world, You are blaspheming, because I said, I am the Son of Elohim? If I do not do the works of my Father, do not believe me. But if I do, though you do not believe me, believe the works, so that you know and believe that the Father is in me, and I in him. Therefore they were seeking again to seize him, but he went forth out of their hand, and went once more to the other side of the Yarden, to the place where Yohanan was immersing at first, and there he stayed. And many came to him and said, Yohanan indeed did no sign. And many came to him and said, Yohanan indeed did no sign. Yet all that Yohanan said about this man was true, and many believed in him there. And a certain one was sick, Eliezer from Beth Anya, the village of Miriam and her sister Martha. Now it was Miriam who anointed the master with perfume and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Eliezer was sick. Therefore the sisters sent to him, saying, Master, see, he whom you love is sick. But when Yehושע heard, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the esteem of Elohim, so that the Son of Elohim might be esteemed by it. Now Yehושע loved Martha and her sister and Eliezer. Therefore, when he heard that he was sick, then indeed he stayed at the place where he was 2 more days. Then after this he said to the tall ones, Let us go back to Yehuda. The tall ones said to him, Rabbi, the Yehudim were but now seeking to stone you, and are you going back there? Yehושע answered, Are there not 12 hours in a day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of this world. But if anyone walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him. He said this, and after that he said to them, Our friend Eliezer has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up. Therefore the tall ones said to him, Master, if he has fallen asleep, he shall recover. But Yehושע had spoken about his death, whereas they thought that he spoke of taking rest and sleep. So then Yehושע said to them plainly, Eliezer has died, and for your sake I am glad I was not there, in order for you to believe. But let us go to him, to Oma, who was called the twin, then said to his fellow tall ones, Let us also go, so that we die with him. Therefore when Yehושע arrived, he found that he had already been 4 days in the tomb. Now Beth Anya was near Jerusalem, about 15 stadia away, and many of the Yehudim had come to Martha and Miriam to comfort them, concerning their brother. Martha then, when she heard that Yeshua was coming, met him, but Miriam was sitting in the house. Martha then said to Yeshua, Master, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you might ask of Elohim, Elohim shall give you. Yeshua said to her, Your brother shall rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yeshua said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he dies, he shall live. And everyone that is living and believing in me shall never die at all. Do you believe this? Amen. She said to him, Yes, Master, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of Elohim, who is coming into the world. And having said this, she went away and called her sister Miriam, secretly saying, The teacher is here and calls you. When she heard, she rose up quickly and came to him. And Yeshua had not yet come into the village, but was in a place where Martha met him. Therefore the Yehudim who were with her in the house and were comforting her, when they saw that Miriam rose up quickly and went out, followed her, saying, She is going to the tomb to weep there. Miriam therefore, when she came where Yeshua was and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying to him, Master, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Yeshua therefore, when he saw her weeping, and the Yehudim who came with her weeping, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled, and said, Where have you laid him? They said to him, Master, come and see. Yeshua wept. The Yehudim therefore said, See how he loved him. The Yehudim therefore said, See how he loved him. And some of them said, Was this one who opened the eyes of the blind, not also able to prevent this one from dying? Yeshua therefore, again groaning in himself, came to the tomb. Now it was a cave, and a stone lay against it. Yeshua said, Take away the stone. Martha, the sister of him who had died, said to him, Master, already he smells, for it is 4 days. Yeshua said to her, Did I not say to you that if you believe, you shall see the esteem of Elohim? So they took away the stone where the dead man was laid, and Yeshua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I know that you always hear me. Amen. Facts. But because of the crowd standing by, I said this in order that they believe that you sent me. And when he had said this, he cried with a loud voice, Eleazar, come out. And he who died came out bound, feet and hands with wrappings, and his face was wrapped with a cloth. Yeshua said to them, Loosen him and let him go. Therefore many of the Yehudim who had come to Miriam and had seen what Yeshua did believed in him. But some of them went away to the Pharisees and told them what Yeshua did. So the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered a council and said, What shall we do? Because this man does many signs. If we let him alone like this, they all shall believe in him, and the Romans shall come and take away from us both our place and nation. So they were only worried about what the Romans would do. That's what it was. And the Romans shall come and take away from us both our place and nation. And I remember learning about the Romans in school, but that's the only thing they told us about. They didn't tell us about everything else. They didn't tell us about the Messiah and all the other things that was going on. It's like they only told us like 10%, literally like 1% of the truth, to be honest, and then the other 99% was lies. And the Romans shall come and take away from us both our place and nation. And one of them, Quayafa, being high priest that year, said to them, You know not, neither do you consider that it is better for us that one man die for the people than the entire nation, neither do you consider that it is better for us. Hold on. And one of them, Quayafa, being high priest that year, said to them, You know not, neither do you consider that it is better for us that one man die for the people than that the entire nation should perish. That's sad. But he did not say this from himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yehusha was about to die for the nation. Wow, that's sad. And not for the nation only, but to gather together into one the children of Elohim who were scattered abroad. So from that day on, they plotted to kill him. Yeshua therefore no longer went openly among the Yehudim, but went from there into the country near the wilderness to a city called Ephraim, and remained there with his tall ones. Now the Pesach of the Yehudim was near, and many went from the country up to Jerusalem before the Pesach. They set themselves apart, and so they were seeking Yeshua, and spoke among one another, standing in the set apart place. What do you think? Is he not coming to the festival at all? And both the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a command that if anyone knew where he was, he should disclose it in order for them to seize him. Accordingly, Yeshua 6 days before the Pesach came to Beth Anya, where Eleazar was, who had died, whom he raised from the dead. So they made him a supper there, and Martha served with Eleazar. So they made him a supper there, and Martha served, but while Eleazar was one of those who sat at the table with him. Then Miriam took a pound of costly perfume of nard, anointed the feet of Yahusha, and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. Then one of his tall ones, Yehuda from Kiriath, son of Shimon, who was about to deliver him up, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" And he said this not because he was concerned about the poor, but because he was a thief and had the bag, and he used to take what was put in it. Yahusha then said, "Let her alone. She has kept this for the day of my burial." It says, and he said this not because he was concerned about the poor, but because he was a thief and had the bag, and he used to take what was put in it. And that's so sad, man. Yahusha then said, "Let her alone. She has kept this for the day of my burial. For the poor you have with you always, but me you do not always have." Then a great crowd of the Yehudim learned that he was there, and they came not on account of Yahusha only, but also to see Eleazar, whom he had raised from the dead. And the chief priest resolved to kill Eleazar as well, because on account of him many of the Yehudim went away and believed in Yahusha. On the next day, a great crowd who had come to the festival, when they heard that Yahusha was coming to Jerusalem, took the branches of palm trees and went out to meet him, and were crying out, "Hoshana, Hoshana, 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 lest you see who was coming in the name of our Father in heaven and sovereign Israel." And Yahusha, having found a young donkey, sat on it, as it has been written, "Do not fear, daughter of Tisian. See, your sovereign is coming, sitting on the coat of a donkey." At first his Talmuds did not understand this, but when Yahusha was esteemed, then they remembered that this was written about him, and that they had done this to him. Therefore the crowd who were with him when he called Eleazar out of his tomb and raised him from the dead were bearing witness. On account of this, the crowd also met him, because they heard that he had done this sign. The Pharisees then said among themselves, "You see how you are getting." Hold on. The Pharisees then said among themselves, "You see how you are getting nowhere at all? Look, the world has gone after him." And there were certain Greeks among those coming up to worship at the festival. These then came to Philip, who was from Beth Tasadai of Galilee, and were asking him, saying, "Master, we hope to see Yahusha." Philip came and told Andre, and in turn Andre and Philip told Yahusha, and Yahusha answered them, saying, "The hour has come for the Son of Adam to be esteemed. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. He who loves his life shall lose it, and he who hates his life in this world shall preserve it for everlasting life. If anyone serves me, let him follow me, and where I am, there my servant also shall be. If anyone serves me, the Father shall value him. Now I myself am troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this reason I came to this hour. Father, esteem your name." Then a voice came from the heaven, I have both esteemed it, and shall esteem it again." So the crowd who stood by it and heard it were saying, "There had been a thunder." Others said, "A messenger has spoken to him." Yahusha answered and said, "This voice did not come because of me, but for your sake. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world shall be cast out. And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, shall draw all men unto myself." This he said, signifying by what death he was about to die. The crowd answered him, "We have heard out of the Torah that the Messiah remains forever. And how do you say the Son of Adam has to be lifted up? Who is the Son of Adam?" Yahusha therefore said to them, "Yet a little while the light is with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. And he who walks in darkness does not know where he is going. While you have the light, believe in the light, so that you become sons of light." These words Yahusha spoke and went off and was hidden from them. But though he had done so many signs before them, they did not believe in him, that the word of Yeshayahu the prophet might be filled, which he spoke, "Our Father in heaven, who has believed our report, and to whom our Father in heaven has believed our report, and to whom has the arm of our Father in heaven been revealed." Whom has the arm of our Father in heaven been revealed? Hold on. Because of this, they were unable to believe, because Yeshayahu said, He has blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, so that they should not see with their eyes and understand with their heart, and turn, and I should heal them. Yeshayahu said this when he saw his esteem, and spoke of him. Still, even among the rulers, many did believe in him, but because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him. They did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the congregation, for they loved the praise of men more than the praise of Elohim. Then Yehusha cried out and said, He who believes in me believes not in me, but in him who sent me. And he who sees me sees him who sent me. I have come as a light into the world, so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness. And if anyone hears my words, but does not watch over them, I do not judge him, for I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. He who rejects me and does not receive my words has one who judges. He who rejects me and does not receive my words has one who judges him. The word that I have spoken shall judge him in the last day, because I spoke not for myself, but the Father who sent me has given me a command, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his command is everlasting life. Therefore, whatever I speak, as the Father has said to me, so I speak. Amen. And before the festival of the Pesach, Yehusha, knowing that his hour had come, that he should move out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. And supper taking place, the devil having already put it into the heart of Yehuda from Kiriath, son of Shimon, to deliver him up. Yehusha, knowing that the Father had given all into his hands, and that he had come from given all to his hands, and that he had come from Elohim and was going to Elohim, rose from supper and laid aside his garments, and having taken a towel, he girded himself. After that, he put water into a basin and began to wash the feet of the tall ones, and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. And he washed the feet of the man I was about to kill him. He was girded. And so he came to Shimon Kepha and he said to him, Master, do you wash my feet? Yeshua answered and said to him, You do not know what I am doing now, but you shall know after this. Kepha said to him, Why by no means shall you wash my feet? Ever. Yeshua answered him, If I did not wash you, you have no part with me. Shimon Kepha said to him, Master, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Yeshua said to him, He who has had a bath does not need to wash, except his feet, but is clean altogether. And you are clean, but not all of you. For he knew who would deliver him up. So he said, You are not all clean. So when he had washed their feet and taken his garments, and sat down again, he said to them, Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and master, and you say well, for I am. That if I, master and teacher, have washed your feet, and you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I gave you an example that you should do as I have done to you. Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is an emissary greater than he who sent him. If you know these teachings, blessed are you if you do them. I do not speak concerning all of you. I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture might be filled. He who eats bread with me has lifted up his heel against me. Now I say to you, before it takes place, that when it does take place, you shall believe that I am. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who receives whomever I send receives me, and he who receives me receives him who sent me. When Yehusha had said this, he was troubled in spirit, and witnessed, and said, Truly, truly, I say to you, one of you shall deliver me up. The tall ones looked at one another, doubting of whom he spoke. And one of his tall ones, whom Yeshua loved, was reclining on the bosom of Yeshua. Shimon Kepha then motioned to him to ask who it was of whom he spoke, and leaning back on the breast of Yeshua, he said to him, Master, who is it? Yeshua answered, It is he to whom I shall give a piece of bread when I have dipped it. And having dipped the bread, he gave it to Yehuda from Kiriath, son of Shimon. And after the piece of bread, Satan entered into him. Yeshua therefore said to him, What do you do? Do what you do quickly, but no one But no one at the table knew why he said this to him. For some were supposing, and then he told him, like, bro, he just showed him after he watched him. For some were supposing, it's the thoroughest guy ever, bro. The thoroughest guy to ever walk this planet. For some were supposing, because Judah had the bag, that Yahusha was saying to him, buy what we need for the festival, or that he should give somewhat to the poor. So having received the piece of bread, he then went out straight away, and it was night. When therefore he went out, Yahusha said, now the son of Adam has been esteemed, and Elohim has been esteemed in Elohim. If Elohim has been esteemed in him, Elohim shall also esteem him in himself, and straightway esteem him. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. You shall seek me. And as I said to the Yehudim, where I am going, you are unable to come. I now also say to you, a renewed command I give to you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this shall all know that you are my taught ones, if you have love for one another. Shimon Kepha said to him, Master, where are you going? Yahusha answered him, Where I am going, you are unable to follow me now, but afterwards you shall follow me. Kepha said to him, Master, why am I unable to follow you now? I shall lay down my life for you. Yahusha answered him, Shall you lay down your life for me? Truly, truly, I say to you, the cock shall not crow at all until you have denied me 3 times. Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in me. Believe in Elohim. Believe also in me. I mean, in my Father's house are many staying places, and if not, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I shall come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, you might be too. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. So Omar said to him, Master, we do not know where you are going, and how are we able to know the way? Yahusha said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you had known me, you would have known my Father too. From now on, you know him and have seen. From now on, if you had known me, you would have known my Father too. From now on, you know him and have seen. Philip said to him, Master, show us the Father, and it is enough for us. Yahusha said to him, Have I been with you so long, and you have not known me? Philip, he who has seen me has seen the Father. And how do you say, Show us the Father? Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? The words that I speak to you, I do not speak from myself, but the Father who stays in me does his works. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me. Otherwise, believe me because of the works themselves. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he shall do also, and greater works than these he shall do, because I go to my Father. And whatever you ask in my name, that I shall do, in order that the Father might be esteemed in the Son. If you ask whatever in my name, I shall do it. If you love me, you shall guard my commands. And I shall ask the Father, and he shall give you another helper to stay with you forever, the Spirit of the truth, whom the world is unable to receive, because it does not see him or know him, but you know him, for he stays with you and shall be in you. I shall not leave you orphans. I am coming to you. Yet a little while, and the world no longer sees me, but you shall see me, because I live, and you shall live. In that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. He who possesses my commands and guards them, it is he who loves me. And he who loves me shall be loved by my Father, and I shall love him and manifest myself to him. Judah, not the one from Kiriath, said to him, Master, what has come about that you are about to manifest yourself to us and not to the world? Yahusha answered him, If anyone loves me, he shall guard my word, and my Father shall love him, and we shall come to him and make our stay with him. He who does not love me does not guard my words, and the word which you hear is not mine, but of the Father who sent me. These words I have spoken to you while still with you, but the Helper, the set-apart Spirit, whom the Father shall send in my name, he shall teach you all and remind you of all that I said to you. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. You heard that I said to you, I am going away, and I am coming to you. If you did love me, you would have rejoiced that I said, I am going to the Father, for my Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it takes place. That when it does take place, you shall believe. I shall no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming, and he possesses none at all in me. But in order for the world to know that I love the Father, and that as the Father commanded me, so I am doing. Rise up, let us go from there. Let's go from here. Let me stop and start again.